Hi everyone, it's Andy from Hobby Headquarters. Well, I've got a special build for you today, a car kit. This is Tamiya's brand new Mercedes AMG GT3 car. This kit will be out actually sometime in the month of October. I believe October 20th is the actual release date for this car. But Tamiya USA was kind enough to get us out an early copy of it so I could build it up and show you guys. This is an absolute beautiful looking car, even just by the box art. But after going through all the sprues, they've done it again. It's just wonderful to look at inside. And what I'll do is, at the beginning of this video, I'll break down all the sprues individually, since it is a brand new car kit that's coming out. And that way I'll just have big sprues set up that you can see the individual parts on it. So this car is the road car, basically, that Mercedes makes, turned over to their AMG Motorsports division, where they put in a monster 6.3 liter naturally aspirated V8 engine that produces 558 horsepower. The car came out first race in 2016 and has actually had a pretty good track record so far after reading up a little bit on it. But just like I said, a very, very wide, beautiful, beautiful looking car. I should also point out to you too why I have the cans of Tamiya spray paint out. Tamiya has issued a brand new color specifically for this kit. It's TS100 and it's semi-gloss bright gunmetal. So it's the color that was designed to work perfectly with the box art, you know, styling with the decals, all that other stuff. So what I thought I would do is a little bit of an experiment. I probably won't use an airbrush at all for this kit. I decided I'm just going to use cans of Tamiya spray like the instructions recommend, which sometimes a lot of you guys don't have airbrushes and just use spray cans anyway. So I thought I would build it up just the way they show in the instructions and give that a shot. And I've tried Tamiya spray cans in the past, and they are fabulous. The spray pattern, everything, the way it goes on, is really, really good. Way better than all the other ones that I've tried over the past. So let's get started on it. Okay, quickly what I thought I would do is just show you the parts now, like I was telling you earlier. This is obviously the body of the vehicle, or most of the body. It's molded kind of in this unusual color gray. And then we have three color sprues. This is the metal colored ones, and this has most of the interior as well as like the brakes, things like that on it. And then here's the rest of the body pieces, as well as the interior roll cage. It too is molded in that light gray color. Finally, we have the chassis, and it's molded in like a semi-gloss black. And most of the colors that the parts are molded in are the color that the actual vehicle is supposed to be in, other than the body, which is a darker gray. Got our clear parts right there, as well as the four tires. And the final little bag has all of our decals in it. And then the masking stickers for the windows, a little mesh fabric for the vehicle, and then finally we have some metal transfers for the Mercedes symbol as well as the mirrors. And what I'll do is, at the very end of this video, I'll have some more detailed sprue shots of all the stuff you want to take a closer look at any of those parts. Okay, right away in step one, it's going to require us to do some decaling and some painting. So what I thought I would do is I would lay out all of these parts, get them all sanded and cleaned up off the sprue. And now we're going to shoot them all with the Tamiya's TS14 gloss black. And the reason we're going to shoot it with gloss black first is it calls out for semi-gloss black, but I think the decals will stick a lot better, and also some of the areas need to be painted a chrome color, which after looking at the instructions, I'm not going to be able to do the entire thing with spray cans. Part of it I will be doing with some of the Vallejo metal colors, and they require a gloss black underneath. So I think once we put the gloss black on these, we'll be able to mask off, still keep part of it the right color, and then the rest will just turn into metal flakes. So I'm going to take these outside because the spray cans are a little strong smelling, and get all these parts sprayed up. I thought I would quickly just show you the interior of the car. Not much going on inside because it's such a small window, you aren't going to be able to see much anyway. But the only pieces that we've installed is this little fire extinguisher and the seat, which I'm just in the process of putting the decals in. Now, mainly in through here is just a matter of spraying the black and the silver paint and touching up in here. I also ran some Tamiya black panel wash over the inside here to highlight that stuff, because like I said, it's going to be very, very dark and hard to see inside there. So we want to see as much contrast as possible inside the car once we get it put together. Okay, right now I'm in the process of gluing up the roll cage for the inside of the vehicle. And it's only made up of 5 pieces, 4 main ones and then one little cross member that goes in the back, and it's very nicely detailed. Kind of hard to hold on to for some reason here, but I think it's going to look really, really good. Now once we get this all glued up and sanded, we're going to go ahead and paint the entire thing a metallic silver like it calls out, and then there are a few pads that get placed on the inside that we'll have in a flat black color, as it's called out in the instructions too. So we're going to get this finished glued up, painted, and then we'll pop it into place. I've also been working on getting the brakes all painted up, and we've got the little decals on. We're going to put as soon as this dries, we're going to clear coat this and then put a coat of black panel liner on it to really highlight all these things, because it'll be inside the wheels obviously, so you will be able to see it, but we want to have a little bit more of a shadow effect on it. Thought I would show you real quickly too. I was doing some of the other the brakes and just was so impressed with the way they look once you put this on. This is Tamiya's black panel liner. And we're just going to show you how, just by putting a little bit on into these little areas in here, how it takes something that looks kind of toyish because it's so clean and shiny and turns it into something that ends up looking rather real. Now we just want to put a little bit of the panel liner on, just make things pop, and then just taking a cotton swab, we'll go over some of the other areas to knock off the excess. And this is what it looks like after it's dried. And I was just very impressed with the way it looks. Now, since we're in the middle of doing that, I'll also show you, I'm in the process, while we were painting the chrome the silver for the roll cage, we also painted up the little hubs and then painted the actual wheel a semi-gloss black. So this is the rear wheel, and once we pop that on in there, it's got a poly cap in it. You can see how it starts to look inside there. You can start to see all the shadow effect on it. So I'm going to go ahead and finish up the rest of the wheels and put the rest of the panel liner on all of the brakes. Also, before I forget too, I'm about to put the rear view mirror in, and it uses one of Tamiya's metal transfers. It looks really, really cool. Hopefully you can see it. Actually, you can see your full reflection inside of that. So we'll glue that into place, but I just thought that looked really cool on there. Okay, right now I'm in the process of getting the instrument panel decal into place. And once that gets put on properly, we can suck off some of the excess water. And then using a little bit of our Mark Fit Strong, a little touch of that on there. Looks like the decal may have shifted just slightly with the liquid. I always want to make sure that it's in the right position just when you're about ready to let it dry for a while, so you're not trying to move it later. Well, we'll let that set up for a little while. We've also painted the top the neutral gray and installed the vent right here as well. Now we're also going to install the steering wheel. Now I've put just a couple of parts together here for it, but you can also see we've also attached the metal transfer for the Mercedes symbol. So although the cockpit of this vehicle is going to be really small, little things like that, when you look inside, you will be able to see any light that flashes off of that. So once this all gets dried up and we can finish with the instrument panel, we'll just glue that into place and let that set up, and then I'll show you how it all goes together inside the driver's compartment. And let me show you now. We're going to put the last little parts into the cockpit of the driver's compartment. We've got the doors done up with the silver and black, and that will just get glued right into place on either side like that. And this one gets popped into place right here. We'll of course glue those down. And then finally, the last thing we'll have to put in will be our instrument panel and our dashboard, which can take some tweezers to get that into place right there. And so we'll glue all of that down, and I'll show you what that looks like. Here's a quick little look with extreme magnification of the interior. Hopefully you can see the mirror, the Mercedes symbol, and the cockpit in there. So all you're really going to be able to see is through the little bit of a window in the front and back, but I think it looks pretty cool inside there. Okay, now that we have the chassis done, we can start working on the body. And what I've done is I've just taken some of the parts, the main body parts, cut them off the sprue, and I'm just going to fit them together here. And I just want to show you guys what incredible engineering this is, how well those parts fit on. The parting lines are all exactly where they would be on the real car, so there's nothing we have to worry about filling. And once we get that piece on, show you how well the back fits as well. Same as the front, basically. Fits very, very tightly and right into place. And these pieces right here also fit incredibly well. You can see that'll just take just a tiny bit of glue, and that'll glue right up inside there. So what I'm going to do is, since this is such a basic operation, we're just going to glue all these plastic parts on for the body, and we'll start getting it ready for paint. Okay, we've got all of, or most of, I should say, all of the body parts on that are going to get painted the overall color. Let me kind of show you around here how beautiful, and everything went on is about as easy as you would expect it to go on too. No problems at all. Everything fit exactly the way it was supposed to. Now the rest of the parts that are going to get painted the black color, we've got cut out and sanded, and we've got them mounted onto the masking tape here so we can get those all painted up separately. Now this, I am going to use my airbrush on these right here, just using the semi-gloss black. It'll be a little bit easier, but we are going to use the new TS100 to paint the body color of the car. Okay, what I'm just starting to do right now is starting to build some of the extra parts that don't get glued on to the very end of the build. So I've assembled up the wing right here, and I've gone ahead and painted it, sealed it with lacquer, and then now we're applying the decals onto it. And it's got a nice carbon fiber background to it, as well as the AMG symbol on it. So we're going to do things like this now by taking care of the decals on this, which I just put on. We still have to put the mark fit and things like that on it. But we're also going to go ahead, and there's these little pieces that stick out of the side of the front of the car that have a carbon fiber decal on it, as well as a little yellow stripe. So, and I'll show you those right there, these type right here. So we're going to put all of these little accessory pieces and get all the decals put on, so when we get the car painted and all done up, we can just glue these in on the last thing we do. Okay, we've got the wing all prepared, and I'm starting to work on a few of the other pieces that we can build up separately. Now on the front grille, Tamiya's included some mesh that we attach to the back, and this little outer edge piece right here is completely separate, so we're able to paint that up separately. And what I can do is pop this off and just show you how well it fits into place here. Just like that. So little touch of glue, and I really appreciate the fact that the that little black edge is molded separately, because I was noticing on quite a few of the cars online, the real cars, the teams will paint that a different color. So as the car is coming in for, you know, for the pits, they can see which car it is just based on the color of the rim, and then of course the mirrors as well. Now what we're going to do is, I've got, and these are included in the kit, these masking stickers for the front and back windshield, so we can paint the black edge around it. So we've got all that taken care of. Plus, don't forget to cover up your side windows too with masking tape on both sides. That way you won't accidentally get any overspray on any part of that. And I was telling you, we also did the rear mirror, the rear window as well. And then I thought I would show you the headlights and how nicely they've been done up. Now there's still going to be a clear lens that goes over the top here, and the chrome inside there looks just like the chrome that you'd find inside of a headlight. So we've got both all the headlights, as well as like the floodlights going on as well there too. And finally, the last thing we just got ready to go is, once we get that windshield painted, I will install this piece that has the windshield wipers, and we just had to paint it with a semi-gloss black and a flat black just to get a little contrast in color, and then the little red for, I believe that's the fire extinguisher up there. So what I'm going to do is I've also got a few other pieces that I need to paint up, like this other grill piece that needs to be painted black, and then I have the little pieces of mesh already cut out, ready to glue into place. So like I said, I was going to get all these parts ready to go so we can paint the body and then basically just install all these pre-built parts right onto the kit. And even with the body unpainted, the car looks really, really cool looking. It's a very, very nice looking mold. Well, I've gone ahead and put a coat of paint on the vehicle here, and I just used a spray can straight out of the can. We just took the can, heated it up outside, and here in Arizona it's still about almost 100 degrees out, so I just left the can outside for about maybe 5 minutes just to warm it up. I find that if you warm up a spray can slightly that way, either that in a pan of water, warm water, the paint sprays a lot nicer. And that is a very, very smooth finish. Now, I went ahead and did something controversial with this kit, and it was the color that I chose to spray. Now, the new TS100 color is light, semi-gloss light gunmetal metallic. And honestly, I was looking at pictures of the model being sprayed with that online, and the metal flake to me looked way too large out of scale for this model, especially after looking at lots of pictures of the original of the real car. And it's a beautiful color that they've come out with, don't get me wrong. It's just for this, I thought the metal flake looked a little bit too large for it, and so I decided to go ahead with just the regular TS42 light gunmetal. And I can say I'm very, very happy with the results that it turned out on that. Now, this is just two light little mist coats on it, and I'll probably go ahead and put a third little light mist coat on it. Then we'll seal it in with some clear lacquer from Tamiya, and then we can start putting our decals on. And just looks absolutely gorgeous, just right out of the can. So let's do that. I'm going to let that dry for a little while longer, put the third coat on, then clear coat it, and then we'll start putting our decals on. Well, now that we have it clear coated and fully dried, I've just gone over it with any type of place I'm going to put a decal, went over it with a paper towel, and this actually acts as a real fine abrasive to smooth out, make sure there's nothing left underneath the paint there that we don't want in there. And we're going to just start off, just going to show you quickly how to do this one area. We're going to put a little bit of our Mark Fit Strong, and it bubbles up because the paint is so smooth underneath here, but that won't matter because it's just a matter of getting a little bit underneath there so it starts to soften the decal from the bottom. Now the camera's a little bit in my way here, so hopefully I can show you a little bit of this. And Tamiya has broken up the decals in such a way that, you know, fitting them over these little bumps and areas right here, just a matter of getting them perfectly lined up. And we're going to go ahead and put another coat of Mark Fit Strong on top of that. And this is one that has been setting up for a little while now, so I'll probably go ahead and put another coat on it, but then we can start using our cotton swab to burnish it down, and that should help us get it into that that crease right there for that top panel. But I'll keep working on that one, and as this one as well. So there's quite a few decals on this kit, and that's probably the most difficult part of this kit in the sense of time, because it's going to take a little bit of time to get all of these decals on and just perfectly straight, which you can see this one has got a little bit more work to go on it too. So I'm going to work a little bit on that without the camera right in front of me there, so I have a little better chance of getting in there, and we'll come back and show you what they look like. Well, here we are. Here is the car with all of the decals on, and I'm just going to kind of pop it into the place right here just to let you see. Now, I have not clear coated this yet, so I'm going to put multiple coats of clear coat on to get the decals to really blend into the paint. But I've also went ahead and added a few other pieces, some of these vents right in through here, these little black pieces here, as well as the exhaust pipes. Now we painted them the kind of like the titanium gold that they required, but we will add a little bit of an exhaust effect right to the end after everything is completely done though. But I am really liking the way the paint and decals look together, and just pop that into place for a second there just to let you see. And then with the big AMG logo that'll go on inside there, and all these other pieces. Now the last thing we'll do is, after we clear coat, is we'll install all of the lights, the grill, as well as the glass for inside too, front and back. But the decals were not as hard as I thought they would be. They went on pretty good, and they were designed perfectly to fit right into all those little areas with no problems, and everything lined up just the way it was supposed to. So I'm going to go ahead and start doing some clear coating on this. I'm probably going to let these dry overnight. They're dry now, but want to just doubly make sure that they're done. Okay, now that we've got the body dried overnight with all the clear coats and stuff, we can start attaching the glass. And what I really appreciate about this kit is, Tamiya is giving you all these little extra areas of glass that is where you're going to mount the actual piece inside. Sometimes companies will just give you just the glass itself, and it's kind of tough getting in there without getting anything on the glass. But we're still going to use clear part cement, and we'll put a little bit of this on there, and if we do get anything anywhere, it's going to dry crystal clear. So we'll go ahead and put all of the lights in, as well as the front windshield, the rear windshield, and go on to start putting all the rest of the parts on it. Well, here we are. Here's our completed model. I finished putting in all of the glass in the cockpit, as well as all the front glass. And hopefully you can see really well how beautiful looking the front headlights are. They're just incredible the way Tamiya molded those. I'll kind of give you a 360 little view going around here first. Thought I would also give you a little bit higher view, give you a little 360 of everything on this. All in all, an absolutely incredible kit to put together. The engineering is, well, as you know, with Tamiya, is second to none. It's just a fabulous piece of engineering. Everything fit just the way it was supposed to. And I enjoyed doing a car kit for a change. I haven't done cars in probably like 15, 16 years. And it was nice because it was, like I said, it was kind of a puzzle. And what I mean by that is you're building a little bit, painting, building a little bit more, painting, building a little more, and then you're building a lot of little sub-assemblies, which is completely different than the way like a tank would go together, whereas I can build basically the entire tank, paint it, and then do everything, all the weathering right like that. But this presented some challenges just in the sense of, you know, wanting to get the paint job just right. And I am super thrilled I went with the TS42 light gunmetal. I think it absolutely wonderful. And if you look up pictures online of the real car, this is the prototype test car, and I think it looks just like it. And the paint was just incredible right out of the can. I didn't airbrush any of the body panels right there. It was all done just with 2 light mist coats of the spray can. Now the TS100, like I was telling you earlier, is going to be a beautiful color. For this, I just thought this was going to match a little bit better, and it's all up to you. I mean, you're the guy building the model, or I'm the guy building this particular model, and it's what you want on the model. And I was very happy with this, because when I first put the first coat down, I thought, well, if it's wrong or anything, I can always spray the other color over it. But after I put the first coat down, I was sold. So this was not going to change at all. So I want to thank you guys as always for watching. This has been an absolute wonderful build, and definitely be on the lookout for more car model builds in the near future, especially if they're Tamiya quality kits like this. So thank you again as always for watching, and please stay tuned because we have many more videos coming.